Why is emotion so important for your health? Hello, I'm Rodger Duckworth, and for the last 30 years I've helped people often overcome and not just manage their chronic health issues, their chronic pain, their relationship issues and their trauma. Emotion has the word motion in it, and the etymology, the actual roots of that come from Latin, Emovere, which literally means to stir, to move. And when we allow emotions to move through us and to process, they are transient and they're gone. Yeah. The issue comes when we are either overwhelmed by that emotion and they become stuck. I was saying to a patient only yesterday, weather is weather. Clouds come, clouds go. The issue is when we go, oh, it's cloudy, and we anchor the cloud to the ground. Well, guess what? It's going to stick around. But what if we could just notice that the cloud is there and then notice that it's moving? And eventually, just like the Buddhists say, everything in life is transient. Our breath, our life, emotion, feeling, sensation. Think about it. There's not a single emotion or a single sensation that you are still experiencing that you have experienced at another time in your life. Even if you are suffering persistent pain, your pain is not the same moment to moment. And so everything is moving, everything is changing, or it should be. So how does this relate to illness, and why might illness become chronic? Well, simply put, if we hold on to things. Now, that's not a choice. Let's not be disrespectful to those viewers out there who are struggling with chronic illness. And I've had my own lived experience too, from which I have recovered. So I do know what you're going through. If we are unable to process emotion, it could simply be that it's too much, or there may be, this is where trauma comes in, that you see it's either emotional neglect, it's developmental, it may be that there was all manner of terrible things which have happened in your life, which have just been, at some point, unprocessable. And so often if we can't process it, it can't move through. And so it somewhat remains stuck. Or what we have is that we have these sort of triggers and activations that every time certain things come up, or we meet certain things in our relationships, then we get activation of the old unresolved trauma vortex, the old unresolved emotional and traumatic event. And so it's like being on a stuck record. There it is. It can't complete. All too often in the Western world, what we do is we try to suppress and we try to depress that experience. But the problem is if we are not in contact with that moving experience and we can't feel it, now that's either because of a dissociation and a split that we might have created in our own way in order to cope with something. If we can't cope with this terrible experience inside, we learn to just we learn to split. We call dissociation or splitting from that experience. And the other thing is, even if it is overwhelming, then so often people then go and get medication, which then puts them onto things like antidepressants, which I famously say isn't actually an antidepressant at all. It's actually a depressant, because what it's doing is it's numbing you. It's people that are on antidepressants will say, I can't feel anything, and I feel numb. And actually, I just feel, really unpleasantly numb. Because we're meant to feel. We're meant to feel life's experiences, whether they're pleasant or unpleasant. Instead of depressing and suppressing, we need to process. Processing will also be in part experiencing the moving through and facilitating. And it might be that therapy is necessary to help us to come in contact with and help us to move that process through. So, Emovere, emotion, energy in motion.